Super Bowl champion and New York Giants great Howard Cross joins the show today to talk all things New York Giants football as Giants training camp has begun. We will discuss Russell Wilson and Malik Neighbors' connection, which has been on fire, and I discussed yesterday with Alcorn State coach Leroy Frederick. We also discussed Cam Scadabo's potential and his expectations for the run game in New York, as well as the Giants' defensive line, which I think is freaking massive, insane, and looks really good. All this and more here on the other side. Welcome back to another edition of Bailey Price Media Live.
Bailey Price Media, I like it.
What's going on, everybody? Happy Thursday. Welcome back to another edition of Bailey Price Media Live. Got a very special show for you planned today. Got our main man, Howard Cross, joining the show, Super Bowl champion, New York Giants great. It's an absolute honor to have him join the show today. If you're watching, folks, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe, become a member of the BPM Army today. If you're just coming over from 0 to 60 with Matt McChesney and I, we were just live with former Colorado defensive back Steve Roska, breaking down our all-time Colorado Buffaloes team. We broke down defensive backs and safeties, so if you were watching that, head on over there and check that out. Without further ado, our main man is here, and it's an absolute honor. Absolute honor. I cannot state that enough to have this man on the program today. Our main man, Super Bowl champion and New York Giants great, Howard Cross, joins the show. Howard, happy Thursday, my man. How you doing?
Hey, happy Thursday, man. Trying to stay cool in this hot weather.
Yes, sir. Yeah, where are you at right now?
I just got back to the house. I had to go do my biannual, dentist appointment. So
yes,
everything turned out great. So I'm happy.
Well, yes, sir. It's an honor to have you on my show today, man. I can't thank you enough for joining. I am extremely honored to have you on, and love to talk some New York Giants football with you. Yesterday, I had Alcorn State coach Leroy Frederick on, and we discussed Giants training camp. Brian Dable named Russell Wilson the starter, kind of presumed and kind of expected. But what are your expectations for Russell Wilson, 35 years old, going into first season with the New York Giants? I'm a Russell Wilson guy. I'm a big fan of his. He's kind of had a tough last couple of years. I thought a decent year in Pittsburgh, but tough 10-year in Denver. But what are your expectations for Russell Wilson year one as a Giants starter?
I think he'll do pretty well as long as the offensive line holds up. I think that's pretty much for whatever quarterback's in there or who's going to be playing. I think Russell has some great targets with Theo out there at tight end. You got Neighbors out there at receiver and a whole host of other guys, Robinson, Slayton. These guys can get open and get down the field. And there are other tight ends on the team. Bellinger is going to be a contributor. The running backs that are coming out of the backfield are looking pretty good, and they're good receivers and catch the ball. So as far as the offense goes, everything's going to hedge really not so much on Russell, but on that offensive line. If they can stay together and at least get 5 guys that can make it through most of the season, even though it's a tough schedule, they're going to give teams a hard time.
Yeah, definitely. And in that division, the NFC East, it's going to be interesting. I think the Cowboys will probably bounce back better. Jane Daniels in his second year in Washington. It's going to be interesting to see how Cliff Kingsbury dials up his offense with Jaden. What is the ceiling for the New York Giants this season? Do they have to win 8 games for Brian Dable and the general manager to keep his job, or are they safe? Or what is the expectation and the ceiling for the Giants this season? Because I think they can play spoiler in the NFC East, to be honest with you.
I think they're going to play spoiler a little bit, and the only reason I think that's because of the way they've constructed that defense. The Giants, all the way back to the 90s and the 80s, when they won Super Bowls, they had great defenses, and the great defenses were the ones that kind of led the way for them. They had great players on offense, of course, with the Bavaros, the Simses, Joe Morris and crew, even Otis Anderson and guys, but what really kind of led the way was the LTs, the Pepper Johnsons, Leonard Marshall up front, Carl Banks out there. Those guys are continuous Pro Bowlers year in and year out, and that kind of set it up for everybody else to play, getting the ball back, making the it can't be that every time you have the ball you have to score. It's got to be sometimes Hey, look, we didn't get a 3-and-out. We had like a 8-play drive. We got 3 points out of it. Now our defense gets a rest, and they give the ball right back to the offense, and that's what makes great teams great.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Absolutely. And speaking of defensively, I think the Giants, especially on that defensive line, are extremely talented. I mean, I don't know how you think that. Abdul Carter coming in as a rookie, coming with Dexter Lawrence, Brian Burns, and Kayvon Thibodeau. Micah McFadden at the linebacker position with a KRK as well. When I saw this clip in the offseason, because I was thinking about how is this defensive line going to look, I saw this clip and I was like, oh, shit. Like, this defensive line is going to be ready to go, get after it. What are your expectations for the defense? Man, I have a lot of expectations for the Giants defense. I think it'd be pretty good, especially people aren't talking about their secondary with the Debo and Banks. What are your expectations for the defense?
Well, I think right now, I don't think people realize like Dexter Lawrence is probably one of the best, if not the best, defensive lineman maybe in the league right now. This guy is like enormous, and I mean he's like as tall as I am. He's 6'5", 6'6". He's probably 330 pounds. And I'm being polite, and he plays like he's like a linebacker. He's able to move guys. He plays with great leverage. His motor, he doesn't stop. It seems like he's in the game the entire time. That right there is a scary scene for a guy. I don't care if you're a 10-time Pro Bowler or what, to see that guy in front of you. Then you got Burns on one side flying off the ball and Thibodeau on the other side. And all of a sudden you bring Carter in, who can play inside, he can play outside. It's going to be very hard for teams to figure out how to fix this, fix their fronts against guys. You can't double anybody. When you get to a point where you can't double anybody, that's when things start to get a little shaky when you're trying to block. We've been up against it year in, year out. We have mismatched offensive line, but even a really good offensive line is going to have a hard time blocking these guys. And you got some guys that some young guys that are there that are going to be coming back, and some guys that can spell it's not going to be a tremendous drop off, but when you got one of the best players in the league, it's definitely going to be some drop off once he steps off the field.
100%. And getting Abdul Carter in there, I mean, when I saw that draft pick, I was like, Dabo, that's a really smart pick because you already got Burns, Thibodeau. I mean, Abdul Carter's already getting in there, getting after it. Man, like I'm really excited to see this Giants defense. Let's go over to the offensive side of the ball. I really think the key to the Giants' success, specifically offensively, is that offensive line, like you mentioned. Can they protect Russ? Russ, obviously he's mobile. He's older though, in his late 30s, getting there. So definitely going to need some offense line protection, or he panics quick. So hopefully the offense line's there. I really think if the Giants can run the ball though, offensively they're going to be just fine. What are your expectations for the Giants run game, and then obviously the young guy Cam Scatterbo?
Well, Cam Scatterbo's got a chance he's going to be following Tracy. Tracy's a pretty dynamic runner. He can break it up. He's a home run hitter, which is like, you want that in the back. Scatterbo's kind of like a between the tackles guy. He'll get outside a little bit. He, made a reputation for himself of not wanting to come down, being that kind of a fire hydrant kind of guy. You're hitting it, and it's hard to get him down. But you want home run hitters. Tracy's a home run hitter. Scatterbo's kind of it's almost like Tiki and Ron Dane at a time. I'm not saying Scatterbo's Ron Dane, a Heisman Trophy winner or nothing, but it's kind of like that kind of mix-up of two guys that can run inside, outside kind of guys. One guy is a tremendous pass catcher. I think Scatterbo can catch the ball well, too, out of the backfield. So both guys are going to do great. It's going to be interesting to see how the offensive line is going to be constructed, and if they can hold up, it's going to be a big year from John Michael Schmitz. He's got to he's put on a few pounds. He looks like he's gotten a little stronger. That's going to help him out on the inside. He's going to make all the calls. If you get Andrew Thomas to play 17 games, that would be a tremendous thing for him in his career and for the rest of the team. And Evan Neal sliding down to that guard position, if he finds a home and is able to, reconstruct or rebrand himself as a guard, because he played all three positions in college at Alabama. If he can do that, then all of a sudden you got a pretty solid offensive line with Lumador and everybody else that's playing. If you get all those guys on site and they can all hold up, like I said, 15, 16, 17 games, all of a sudden Russell looks good for the whole year. The running game looks good for the whole year. If you get one guy goes down and you start, okay, we got to move this guy from guard to tackle. We got to move this guy from tackle to guard. When that starts happening, then you never know what's going to go on from that point on.
No, 100%. And going back to the running backs, you brought up kind of having two different kind of backs. Running back by committee, we've seen across the NFL teams
Mhm.
having multiple backs, kind of trying to, I guess, reduce the load on their star running back, keep injuries down, etc. Do you see that with the Giants with Scatabo and Tracy?
I think so. I think they both have tremendous abilities to run the ball. Tracy's not afraid to run the ball between the tackles. Scatterbill, of course, isn't afraid to run the ball between the tackles. Both guys can catch the ball out of the backfield. Tracy kind of creates a new dynamic because he was once a receiver who moved to running back. So when he gets outside, he has true receiver skills and tendencies, and it's hard for like a linebacker just to run out there and kind of run with him because he'll make a move and all of a sudden you're like on your heels and he's already like two steps ahead of you out of his break. That's a hard thing for linebackers to do. So they have to roll a safety down. You start rolling safety downs, that opens the field up for neighbors and the guys on the outside to take advantage of it. Scatterboo is going to be interesting because when he rolls out of the backfield, they're going to be looking to hit him right off the bat, like trying to tackle him, put their hands on him. And if they're going to expect him to block on the edge because he's a tremendous blocker also in the pass game. And when he goes past you into a flare, if you give him the ball on the outside and he's one-on-one with a cornerback, then the cornerback's going to have a hard time out there.
100%. Yeah.
Mhm.
Well said. That's
Mhm.
100% true. I want to go to the receiver position, specifically, obviously, Malik Neighbors. We know how good Malik Neighbors is. Darius Slayton, Wandale Robinson as well, Jalen
Mhm.
Hyatt. How are you feeling about the receiver position for Russ and the Giants?
I think the receiver position has improved, even though we haven't named anybody new. And the reason why I think it's improved, I think Neighbors has 1 year into his career had a tremendous rookie campaign. I think he'll be even better this year. Got to take some time with that toe, make sure he comes in fully healthy. I think that's going to be great. I think Robson is like really kind of fitting into Dayball's offense. He's that quick, shifty guy that mid range area. He's hard to get down, a guy that went from running back to receiver instead of going from receiver to running back. So he
Mhm.
he adds a dynamic out there once he gets in the open field himself, and that makes it hard on him. The guy that we don't talk about, like Slayton, is a consummate pro. The guy's got good hands. He's not afraid to go across the middle. Tough competitor. Hard for me to say because he's an Auburn guy, but tough competitor, and he does a good job. The guy that's going to be a surprise to you, because as I've seen him a few times in camp, is Hyatt. I think
Jalen.
Hyatt has gained some weight. He's looking like an NFL player. That's going to make a tremendous difference in his ability to get off the press coverage, get guys off of him. Now he's bigger, he's stronger. And if he still has all that same speed he had coming out of college, he could be a problem for guys. His confidence is going to boost tremendously the first time he goes out and he stiff arms a guy coming off the line and he's open really quick coming on a slant or something. It might change his whole view of the game once he sees how much bigger and stronger and what it does to the DBs when he's playing against them.
Damn. Hey, so I'm out here in Knoxville. I got to see Jalen Hyatt for the Vols. Hell of a player, electric. I was really excited to see him with the Giants. Obviously, development his
Yep.
first year. Got to put on some weight, like you mentioned. Sounds like he did that, and that makes me really excited because I think he's an electric player. Obviously, very, very speedy, quick. I think a great player. Guy in the slot for Russ. I mean, man, do you really think he can take the next step this season, become potentially a 2 or 3 in the Giants' offense?
I think he can, and the reason why I think he can because he did what Slayton did. He put on some serious weight. He looks like a different player when you see him. If you
Mm,
walk by him, you wouldn't know it was him because it's like he was so thin before because he was just like he was a sprinter. He was a total
right.
sprinter. He's going down the field. It's like I got to beat you down the field, and the problem with that, if I get a hand on you early, then all of a sudden you got to get back into your motion of running, and that takes a hard time. So now, as a bigger body, he doesn't have to like run downfield. If he starts running, they back up, and he cuts across the middle or runs a slant. They're gonna have to super respect that because it's like, well, he won't run a slant because he's too small, doesn't want to get hit. Is what they probably were thinking. Now they're like, oh crap, like he might have to if he's running slants and everything, it's going to be a problem. You'll have neighbors on one side. You got high either on the outside or on the inside. You got you got Wandell inside. You got Slayton going inside and outside. These guys are spelling each other. If the offensive line is tight, it could be a problem out there for it could be shocking for teams. And I'm not saying that because I'm being a homer. I'm just looking at them for their physical size and how
Right.
strong they are. You need more like, outside of my boy Smitty down in Philadelphia, you need bigger guys. And even Smitty's put on some weight down there. He looks more
Yeah.
and more like an NFL player. You got to put on some weight. You got to, especially in the days that they have now where they're not able to practice because of all the rules and the NFLPA. You need to be ready to go from the moment you step on the field, because you don't know when it's going to be your first opportunity for someone to bump into you. And everybody's like, bump into you. Like, yeah, you're running full speed. Somebody bumps you. You don't want to get thrown totally off course. You want to be like on a sturdy path. So that's why they need to gain weight and be ready to go when the season starts.
100%. When you saw Devontae Smith get in the NFL, we all saw, I mean, the memes and the pictures of him, really skinny and whatnot. He still went out there and ball. That didn't stop him one bit. But now with him putting on the weight, I mean, it only helps.
Makes it worse. Makes it worse for us. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. But luckily for you guys, Jalen Hyatt seemingly has done the same thing, or is in the process of doing that. And coming from somebody who got to see him at Tennessee, see him run past Alabama and do all that. That makes me really excited for him and then for the Giants in general. You brought up Wan'Dale Robinson coming from the backfield and going to receiver. In Giants training camp, I saw this clip of Wan'Dale lining up in the backfield here. Russ hits him kind of on a little wheel here out in the corner here. That makes me pretty excited. You brought up the Giants playing spoiler in that division. I really think they can be an Achilles heel, especially for teams, especially if that offensive line's in check. We know what that defense line is going to be, and if the receiver core is as good as what we're talking about, man, they could really play spoiler.
I think that they're going to be able to get with these guys able to get open early. Like, you can't just like press up against them. There'll be teams trying to play him man to man, trying to press them because they think they're the offensive line. They'll be testing the offensive line early. If it's anything where you can hold up for just a second or 2 seconds, and all of a sudden the ball comes out, it's trouble. Like these guys are, Slayton will go up and get it. Neighbors, of course, will go up and get it. Robinson will make a tough catch. That becomes a problem. When guys start doing it, it becomes contagious. And we hadn't even talked about Theo. Theo is a big target out there. Like this guy's like 6'6", 6'7", and he's a good route runner. When you're looking at him, you're like, well, okay, I guess. And then you see him catch the ball, you're like, oh, wait a minute. He put some distance between guys pretty quickly. So there are a lot of weapons, and the weapons only are as good as your offensive line. So the offensive line's got to be in place, whether it's, it could be anybody playing quarterback. It doesn't matter. If the offensive line isn't in place, you can get Patrick Mahomes to come in. And then outside of Joe Burrow, everybody else in the league, I think, would be, pretty much beat up and beat down. Even Joe gets beat up and beat down when the offensive line's not that good.
No, 100%, 100%. I really hope that the Giants can get the offensive line in check, because that's a team I'm rooting for. It's a team I'm really excited to see. A lot of pieces on the field that I think a lot of players I think are really talented, and I'm excited to see. Howard, it's been an absolute honor having you on my show. One more question I have for you before we get you out of here. Your son coming up from Notre Dame is working his way up with the Cincinnati Bengals. How's he doing so far? I'm hearing good things so far from him. How's he doing? How's his journey so far as he works his way up with the Bengals?
He was fortunately he got a chance to play a national championship game last year at Notre Dame. I was very happy for him, but at the same time, I kind of felt bad because he was playing through an ankle injury for half the season, torn hamstring. He's playing through that through half the season. He would not stop playing because he was so committed to the team. He's like, I'm gonna, we got a chance to win the Natty. I'm like, yeah, but you got a career. You got to think about I was trying to, be the proud father and be the voice of reason at the same time. But, you want to support your kids, and he's a grown man, so you have to kind of support him now. Becoming a free agent, being one of the first free agents picked to Cincinnati, they need D linemen. Two of their guys, one guy is battling over his contract as a rookie. The other guy battling over his contract as a vet, as a leading sack guy in the league last year. So it's kind of interesting to see. There are going to be extra reps in different positions. That's not his position, but there'll be extra reps at different positions. I think BJ Hill is down there. He's got coming off an injury himself. So they got to bring extra bodies in, of course, to compete and try to show things. And I just told them, like, hey, stay the course. You want to play. You know why you want to play. You're super talented, extraordinarily fast and everything. Just stay the course. Don't let anything bother you. Every day is I tell all kids this. I'm just telling my son, but I tell all kids this. So either you got better or you learned something. Those are the two
Mhm.
things that you have in a day. You never had a bad day. You got better that day, or you learned something that day, and that's how you have to look at it and keep things positive. And he's like, okay. And so he's talking to me. He goes, I said, yeah, I got better today. I did this today. That was awesome. And so I said, did you learn anything? He said, you know what? I did learn something. I learned this today. So I know that's what he needs to work on. When you hear somebody say they learned something, doesn't mean they did it wrong. It just means they need something. That's something they can work on to get better at.
For sure, 100%. I mean, that's real. That's
Mhm.
real for those listening. That's real, 100% honest advice. And yeah, I think there's a tremendous lot of opportunity. Maybe not his position, but the edge position. Shamar Stewart and Trey Hendrickson. I think
Mhm.
they got to pay Trey Hendrickson. He's a dude. Shamar Stewart. That's a whole nother conversation with him. But man,
I think that ideal that you could void a contract at any moment, and I think that, I mean, if I was an owner, I'd understand why you're putting it in there, but as a player, especially a kid that has no history of anything,
right?
I
Yeah.
don't want to be the first player that allows that, and then all of a sudden that changes the course of the entire league. I don't really understand. I understand how the players get hurt. I understand that you know things happen in lives, but come on, let the kid, give him the money you owe him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let him go ahead and play, and then let's make it out. Don't make it into an issue, and still make it and be so public about it, because
Yeah.
it's not
It is
going
blown
well.
up. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
I mean,
definitely going.
yeah, sure. It's a main talking point, which is not what you want coming out of training camp. Yeah, going back to my point, I think there's a lot of tremendous opportunity for your son with the
Yeah,
Cincinnati Bengals, especially defensively, being a guy like tremendous opportunity. Heard nothing but good things, and I expect him to work his way up. And what
yeah.
you just said, the
If
advice
if
you
he's
gave
a
him,
pass
that's
rush
great.
guy inside, he could probably start somewhere for them, probably in third down situations. He's that gifted inside. If they turn him loose and let him go, so it's gonna be interesting. That's
Ooh.
not me being a dad. That's just me seeing a guy that's like he's fast, strong, got great pop, and it's
Yeah.
hard to handle, especially one on one.
And he gets his he's reunited with his DC. He gets to go play with Coach Golden as well.
Yep,
That's great
absolutely.
as well. That's only beneficial, especially for a rookie with him. Talk about that, his relationship with Coach Golden before we get you out of here.
Yeah, Coach Golden, really leaned on him a lot in his last 2 years there in Notre Dame. I was very impressed. The year before when he could have came out that year, he had a tremendous season, something like almost 70 tackles,
Mhm.
a bunch of tackles for loss, and even last year with the injuries, he had over 30 tackles and stuff as a defensive tackle. That was tremendous.
Yeah.
Coach Golden kind of played him at the nose tackle. And I thought like he should have been a three technique, and I never said anything to him. And he's like, I played a position that they need me at most because I'm the only one that can do it. And I'm like, okay.
Mhm.
So that's kind of like, sacrificing your body to do something for your team. And I'm like, okay, that
Yeah.
sounds like it's and coach kind of enjoyed the fact that he was tough and he would do that kind of stuff. So that kind of made them like reach out for him immediately when they had a chance to.
Yeah, 100%. That toughness, I mean, only gains you respect from your coach. So definitely makes me happy for him, and I really, wish him all the best, and hope he works his way
Appreciate it.
up with the
Appreciate it.
Bengals. Howard, I appreciate you joining my show, man. I thank you. It's been an absolute honor. Would love to have you back on again. Can't wait to see the Giants this season, and thank you so much for joining, my man.
All right, man. Let's hope the Giants are spoilers, like we said. Have a good one.
Absolutely. The Giants play spoiler this season. Howard, thank you so much, my man. Shout out to Howard Cross, Super Bowl champion, New York Giants. Great for joining the show. Yeah, let's hope the Giants play spoiler this season because I think they have a lot of talent there that certainly can play spoiler in that division. It's just which team is going to take a step back. We'll see. Folks, if you're watching, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe, become a member of the Bailey Price Media Army today. We may have a special guest for you that is a frequent of the show tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. Going to be a potentially fun show tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern. Matt and I will be live over on 0 to 60 tomorrow. Lawrence Vickers finishing our breakdown of the all-time Colorado Buffaloes football team. All that and so much more over on 0 to 60. Hit that like button, subscribe, become a member. And thank you guys for watching, folks. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Peace.